Over to the Senate now, where Steve Yarbrough will serve as Senate President, a longtime lawmaker. He promises to make what happens here at the Capitol a transparent process. Well, Senate President Steve Yarbrough, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
As you open up this legislative session, what are you most looking forward to?
Oh, I just think it's an exciting place to be. We're trying to do a lot of good things for the people of Arizona, and this may be a place to accomplish that.
Is this year going to be the year that's different for education funding?
Well, some of us were hoping that it would be. We've had a lot of conversations about how we might add additional funding to K-12 public education, the possibility of going from half-day to all-day kindergarten, the possibility of the state picking up a greater share of resident student tuition at the universities. But the simple fact of the matter is that it now appears to me that there is little or none of any funds available, quite frankly, for doing those kinds of things. Now, K-12 public education is getting $350 million plus or minus of new money as a result of Prop 123. But doing something significant beyond 123 has become, in some respects, less likely because of the impact of Prop 206. The minimum wage is really going to have some impact on that. We thought we were going to have about $24 million of new money, so to speak, but that was before people started doing the calculations about the impact of 206, and right now it's probably zero or even negative as far as doing those kinds of things.
So 206 is sort of outweighed 123, or what the anticipation was?
Well, I mean, we're going to have to comply with 206, and there are a lot of folks who are contractors with the state, particularly folks in the DD, developmentally disabled area. A lot of those folks are going to have to be paid more money. That directly impacts the funds that we have to appropriate for that purpose. And so you've got that, you've got school districts who are contacting us and saying, you know, we've got cafeteria workers and we've got aides. We're having to pay them more money. We don't have that money. And so we're going to have to do that. And when we do that, that makes some of the other things we would love to do much less likely.
What sorts of things would you love to do that have been a long time coming?
Well, I think continuing to spend additional funds on K-12 public education is one of those. Striving to do more in the infrastructure area. I mean, there's a lot of places in Arizona that we could spend funds on. And then we've got all of these formula-driven expenses that occur and are increasing. We have an increasing prison population, although the courts are suggesting there may be some ways that we could perhaps impact that. But right now, you know, I haven't had anybody call me up and say, I'd like for you to turn all the sex offenders loose and let them live in my neighborhood so we spend less money on prisons. And so whether you're an advocate of private prisons or public prisons or both, that really is moot. The point is, if they are sent to prison, we have to accommodate them, and that's expensive, very expensive. So all of those things continue to put pressure on the budget.
Donald Trump has said he wants to change the Affordable Care Act. Could that impact Arizona?
Yes, ma'am. It could impact Arizona in a very significant fashion. I don't know how that's going to play out. Obviously, I'm not sure anybody knows. I'm not sure he knows. But be that as it may, yes, it could put enormous additional strain on our budget in a variety of ways. And if that transpires, then we'll have to deal with that. And at the moment, I will fully confess, I don't know how we would deal with it.
That was going to be my next question. Where does that money come from?
I have no idea. It would either mean we have to engage, as we did during the Great Recession, in making some very, very harsh cuts that we weren't necessarily the least bit desirous of making, but we had to. So it's either would be cuts, or we ask the voters for a bunch more money in the form of a tax increase, and we know that that's probably not going to be a very likely outcome.
A conservative majority in Congress Trump administration, how does that affect Arizona? Do you see anything about to change here?
Well, I think it will do a lot of good things for Arizona because it'll do a lot of good things for America. I think we're going to see a stronger defense. I think we will see Supreme Court nominees who at least I will be likely to like more than I might have seen otherwise. So we're going to see those kinds of things. And we will obviously see something in the healthcare arena. I just don't know if it's repeal and replace, then we have to see what replace looks like.